Today I have visited the village, I've visited the fields. I want to show you and I want to advise you because I've seen many of you people, you're losing a lot of natural feeds that we would really love to give to our animals. And you know, it tends to be very expensive for you to feed the goats. You know, in Uganda, the two projects that I really support or I really love, or the ones I'm sure that they can give us very good results, is goats farming and cattle, because it doesn't give us stress like the way you see piggery, the way you see poultry. Because poultry, piggery, and those other projects, they really need to eat out of your pocket every day, which is not the case like here. So people do a lot of mistakes. They do what they call carpet bombing. Carpet bombing is where a person clears the whole of this and only leaves the ground to produce this natural grass, which is a ground grasses, not shrubs. But I would like to show you, you see those animals, you see what they are trying to do? Their heads are up. So that means they are doing what they call browsing. And for example, the way you can know that this farm really has goats, you have to go into the field and see. Because you see, this is all grasses. I think you can see, but goats are not even looking at that. They are not eating this grass. I think the camera can show you these grasses. You see, they have not been eaten. But look at this. They have eaten. But they have not even eaten the whole of it. A goat in nature only eats the tip. Then today it can eat a tip, tomorrow it eats another tip, the other day it eats another tip, till when it finishes. I think you can see, they just pick the tips. And this is a shrub, which is really very good. It's medicinal, and actually it's a source of protein. I think you can see this is also another shrub. When you guys, you're clearing your land, make sure that you leave this kind of grasses, because this kind of shrubs, because they do not affect the growth of the ground grass, but as well, they are producing a lot of protein for your animals. And two, in the season of dry spell, these grasses don't dry up, but it's only the grass that dries up. So in my thinking would be, copy what I'm trying to explain to you. Even if you have a bigger land, I want you to look at this. You see, we have talked about alfalfa many times, and that is a grass that was modified, I think, to produce a lot of protein. But I want you to have a look at this. This is the acacia umbrella tree. In Luganda, we call it kasana. In Runyankore, we call it bugando. I don't know other languages, but so far, that is it. This is a heavy source of protein. I'm telling you the truth. It's a heavy source of protein. But because people don't understand it, and actually this is a nitrogen fixing grass. So where this grass is, or this shrub is, you find that the grasses around it is very fertile, because it's a nitrogen fixing tree or shrub. I think you can have a look at this. But you people, the mistakes that you really do, at the end of it all, costs you a lot of money. How? Because if you do a carpet bombing in a dry spell, the grasses will dry up. And then for this case, as me, hamiisi, who doesn't do a carpet bombing, my cows can eat here and my goats can as well eat here. So I'm dealing with the two projects. If I'm not selling a cow of 7 million, at least I sell a goat of 1 million or 500,000. By the time I wait, let's say 4 years for an animal to come up well and then have a baby, to have what I can sell, at least in the process of 6 months and 1 year, I have what to sell, and one can support the other. So what am I trying to explain to you people? You who have land, I'm not talking about the zero grazers. I'm talking about those guys who have chunk of land, like where I am. So people don't have to do what they call carpet bombing. Don't clear everything. Just know what you are clearing. Like for example, this is a Sodom apple. This is not very toxic, but it is toxic, but not at a high rate. And you know, goats also feed on it, like in a dry spell, because this does not get affected by the dry spell. It always stays there, because if the animals are looking for the grasses that are available green, and they can't access other grasses as well, they can try to eat this. But it can suppress other grasses, first of all. Secondly, it is toxic. If that animal eats a lot of the fruit of this, it will end up toxifying the animal. The toxicity will not react there and then, but it will come later and you find your animals dropping down one by one. So these are some of the grasses that we really need to eliminate, this kind of grass. And then when you go to the field, look at what animals feed on, because when you look at here, this is it. They eat this. I think you can check and see, but this is not eaten. So when you're doing your selection of which weeds you are supposed to remove, go and try to check out yourself. You get, look at this kind of grasses. I don't know how they call this, but also check those that animals are not eating. Eliminate all that, but don't tamper with what animals feed on. I think you can see, I really love the vegetation itself. I really love everything in the bush. I don't know whether I'm born a bushman and I'm supposed to be in the bush, but when I look at here, I feel like I need to sleep in here, but still having the animals that can convert dollars for me. This looks like a Rhodes grass, actually. In Runyankore, they call it Mbura. I don't know how they call it in Luganda, but this is also a source of carbohydrates. The protein content is there, but not that much as in other grasses. So this is also a good grass. If you're cutting, don't bother with cutting it, because you can use it for many things. I think when you check out in my silage making videos, I one time showed you when I was doing silage for this. So this is also a very good grass. And we also have this kind of grass. This looks like Bracharia mulato, and actually this is Bracharia, but mulato was advanced from this. You know, in our natural environments, we really have very good grasses that can do whatever we always tell you to plant. But if you're managing your nature very well, we almost have all kind of grasses. I'm just in one position here, trying to look out for the grasses that are readily available. I think I've seen even some legumes here. You see, this looks like desmodium, and actually it looks to be one. You get, this is natural grass. No one has ever planted this. You get, so Bracharia is also over here. So you guys, my advice out of this video is just to tell you that we have those who have chunk of land, just learn what they call pasture management. What am I trying to mean by pasture management? Know which pastures are really very good for the animals. Then two, do what they call paddocking. You might decide to say, let's say you have 100 acres. 25% of 100, that's 25 acres. You can leave it in this kind of way. Then you only remove those shrubs that you know that, or the grasses or the weeds that you know that animals don't eat it. Then you leave the natural grass to grow, such that in times of this dry spell, your animals can be harvesting grasses in those kind of environments. You get it? But don't allow them to go there and sleep there. No. What we do after resignating that area, let the grass grow. Don't allow animals to go into that place, but only allow them to go there in a dry spell. Remember, in a dry spell, the grasses will be this level. And then what you do, like when you release them in the morning, when you're in a dry spell, they will have what they call standing hay, that grass that is already dried up. You get? So you will let your animals go into that grass morning hours before they take water, because before water, the digestion is not that perfect. So it is a slow digestion. So let them go in when they're still, they are still hungry. They need a lot. They will go into that. They will utilize that time. They will harvest a lot of that grasses. Then when they go to take water, don't bring them back here. Why? Because the digestion should have started and they will only be depositing there the dung. So like for the cows, also do the same. Don't allow them to take long there. Let them go, eat what they can eat, then go back to their section. And for the cows, in the when the dry spell is getting over, let the whole of that group of those animals stay in that place. They even sleep there. So they destroy everything, they deposit the manure there, then you let them go. Then let this the rain take on, and then finally you find that the next time you'll have a lot of grasses there. So that was just a simple advice for you guys, and I would like you to understand it very well for both the goats and cattle farmers. If you use that idea, those who have land, please it will be very beautiful. If you have land, you will not spend a lot of money making the pastures. If you have no land like poor hamiisi, then you will have to do what they call pastures as a serious project, because both of us, we can do. Those who have land and those who doesn't have land but have a smaller land, we can utilize it. I did not show you this. This is also a very good one for these animals. I don't know how they call it in other ways. Botanically, these are acacias. I think these are acacias. They are shrubs. And then in Runyankore, they call it omusheshe. In Uganda, we call it omusese. So it's a very good source of protein, and it's a very good grass to be with. Let me just wish you the best, and bye-bye for now. Let me thank even the camera person. He's really doing a great job. He's a farmer just like you people. Thank you. Bye.